We're working through an example involving sets and Venn diagrams. Let's go, I can't wait. I'm Allison from Math Bytes, and we're doing an example involving sets and Venn diagrams. So here's our problem. 100 people were surveyed and asked where they get the news. 65 said they got the news from watching TV. 39 said they got the news from reading a news website. And 39 said they got the news from listening to the radio. Additionally, 20 of those surveyed said that they watched TV and read a news website. 27 of those surveyed said they watched TV and listened to the radio. 9 of those surveyed said they read a news website and listened to the radio. And 6 of those surveyed said they used all 3 resources: watched TV, read news websites, and listened to the radio. So our question is, of the 100 people surveyed, how many didn't use any of the 3 sources listed? Okay, before we attempt to answer that question, let's diagram the information we're given in this problem so we can really see what's going on. All right, so we have 3 sets. We have people who use TV, people who read news websites, people who listen to the radio. And those sets all intersect each other. So we're going to draw a Venn diagram that represents that. Okay, so here we have our Venn diagram and we have our 3 sets: the TV, website, and radio. And you'll notice they all intersect. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in the middle and work our way out. So that middle intersection where all 3 sets intersect, those are the people who use all 3 resources. And according to our problem, there are 6 of them. So we can put a 6 in there. Okay, now let's go one step out and look at the number of people who use 2 of these sources. Now, for example, we have 20 people who use TV as well as news websites to get their news. But that includes those 6 that use all 3. So the number of people in that intersection would be 14, because 14 and 6 is 20. Now, we have 27 people who watch TV and listen to the radio. But again, that includes those 6 people that use all 3 of the sources listed. So in that section, we have 21 people, because 21 and 6 is 27. And in our last interior intersection there, we have 9 people who use websites and listen to the radio. So we would have 3 people there, because 6 and 3 is 9. Okay, so now we just have to fill out the larger circles, the places that represent the people who just watch TV, or just read a news website, or just listen to the radio. All right, so for the TV people, we had a total of 65. But we have to subtract out those that are already counted in the other intersections. So we have 65 minus 21 minus 14 minus 6, and that equals 24. So we can put that number there, 24. Now, for the people who read a news website, there were 39 of them, but we have to subtract out the people who are already counted in the intersections. So we have 39 minus 14 minus 6 minus 3, and that's equal to 16. So we fill that number in. Now we just have our last group, the people who just listen to the radio to get their news. There were also 39 of them. So we have 39 minus 21 minus 6 minus 3, and that gives us 9. Now we have our diagram completely filled out, and it represents everything that we were told in the problem. Okay, now that we have our diagram, let's go back to our question. How many of the 100 people surveyed don't use any of the 3 sources listed? Before we can answer that question, we need to know how many people are represented in our diagram. And all we have to do to find that out is add up all the values. So we have 24 plus 16 plus 9 plus 21 plus 14 plus 3 plus 6. And when we add all those up, we find that it equals 93. Now, there were 100 people surveyed, but only 93 of them are represented in our diagram. So 100 minus 93 leaves us 7. So 7 people surveyed don't use any of the 3 sources listed. Okay, here's another question. Of the 100 people surveyed, how many of them read news websites but do not watch TV news? So let's look at our diagram. We need to find the people who read news websites but don't watch TV. So there are 16 people, according to our diagram, who just use news websites to get their news. So we have 16. Who else do we have to add in there? Now, we're not going to add in the 14 or the 6 because that's an intersection with the group who watches TV news, and we're trying to figure out which of these people don't do that. But we can add in the people who read news websites and listen to the radio. There are 3 of them, and that's it. So we have 16 plus 3 equals 19. 19 of the people surveyed read news websites but do not watch TV news. Okay, and here's one more question for you. How many of the 100 people surveyed use only one of the 3 sources listed? All right, we're only interested in the number of people that just use one of the sources, TV, news websites, or radio. So we don't want to count any of the people in the intersections. We're only interested in the number of people that just use one of the sources. So we just take those numbers from our Venn diagram and add them up. And we have 24 plus 16 plus 9. And when we add that up, we get 49. So 49 of the people surveyed only use one of these sources to get the news. To learn more about this topic, watch our videos on the Math Bytes with Allison YouTube channel.